When Novak Djokovic and Australia come together, then it can only spell controversy. What started with a visa row and his deportation from Melbourne in 2022, of course, turned into Poison Gate at the start of this year. And now, after accusing Australia of poisoning him, the former world number one has appeared to take a dig at his rival and, more importantly, defending champion Jannik Sinner. In an interview, the Serb was asked to describe Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, all of it each in one word. While Djokovic used superlative terms to describe the rest, for Sinner, he used an odd word. Was Djokovic trying to mock the world number one, given Sinner beat him last year at the Australian Open semi-final, or is this connected to Sinner's doping row? Here's more.
The 2025 season in tennis is expected to be the beginning of a new era. The year has started without two of the biggest stars, Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal, the latter bidding farewell late last year. Novak Djokovic is the only one left from that golden period still competing with some of the young guns like Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. So will the next generation steamroll the competition? Well, not really. Former world number one Novak Djokovic is in no mood to slow down. After a healthy, fierce and feisty rivalry with Nadal and Federer that lasted more than a decade, Djokovic has taken a different route with his rivalry with the next generation, especially Jannik Sinner. In an interview, the Serb seems to have taken a dig at Sinner. The 10-time Australian Open winner was asked to describe his fellow competitors over the years in one word: Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, Carlos Alcaraz and Sinner. Djokovic used a single word to reflect what he really felt about his competitors. He described Federer using the term elegance, Nadal with tenacity, Alcaraz with charisma, which is all good there. But when asked to describe Sinner, he says skiing. No tennis reference nor a personality trait, just skiing. Odd, weird, and enough to spark a fresh controversy. This led to a massive uproar across the internet. The reason why Djokovic's comment has gotten tongues wagging is because of the rivalry the two share. It's still in its early stages. And while they may be level at 4 wins each, the rivalry has become one-sided in the past 3 meetings. Sinner has a 100% win record in the last 3 encounters, which includes knockout fixtures. The biggest being last year's semi-final at Melbourne, where Sinner beat Djokovic and ended up winning the Grand Slam title. Which is the reason why many felt Djokovic not only mocked Sinner but also stoked their rivalry. After the comment received a lot of backlash, Djokovic tried doing some damage control.
I've seen it on social media that it's being made into some kind of drama or a story, like I humiliated him or I've intentionally shown disrespect toward him. That's ridiculous. Sinner's name came up and I had this image in my head of him skiing, because I saw him skiing somewhere. That's why I said skiing, not because I don't respect his achievements in tennis.
And while he claims he didn't mean to disrespect the star, what doesn't help his case is that he referred to the rest of the players with personal traits, words that meant something, qualities that make them top tennis players. Sure, he might have had the skiing image of Sinner in his head, but the disparity in the references didn't really help his defense. Another reason why many feel Djokovic disrespected Sinner is because of the doping row the Italian found himself in last year. For months now, Sinner has been under the scanner, facing the wrath of voices around the world. For being let off by the International Tennis Integrity Agency or the ITIA after 2 offences, the tennis world is divided on the whole matter. And just a few weeks ago, Djokovic clarified which side he was on.
I've been really frustrated as have most of the other players, that we've been kept in the dark for 5 months. He received the news in April and the announcement was not until August, just before the US Open.
The supposed jibes and taunts have made this an interesting rivalry to watch out for. While Sinner is eyeing redemption in the new year after a doping row, Djokovic is faced with the ultimate task of ending his slamless run. This time, the duo have landed in the opposite sides of the draw, avoiding any potential semi-final encounter like last year. So, if everything goes well, Sinner and Djokovic will only meet in the final. And given the war of words, it would be a fitting end to the very first Grand Slam of the year.
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT, only on Firstpost.